Good morning, Thriving Warriors. Today is Saturday, June 10th, 2023. It is now 5:59 in the morning. And it's a little bit overcast. Today's the day we go to Tonopah. Get some statistics down here. So the weather right now is 66. The high is going to be 89, 66 to 89. So it's going to be kind of cool today. All right. Well, again, here we are, Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help you get from point A to point B, where B is better, going from, as we say, someday Isle to Successlandia. We are here to help you build a metaphorical boat to sail from where you are to where you want to be, and to get a crew on that boat. Along those lines, down below in the description, we have a whole bunch of other stuff, actually the real stuff, to help you get from someday Isle to Successlandia. But one of the first things is our State Pen Workbook, a neuroscience-oriented approach to success. And our online course, there's 17 morsels there that will help you get from where you are to where you want to be. I can promise you, if you spend an hour a day doing these little bits, little morsels, just take it out of the sea, ingest it, digest it, process it. It will make your life better, especially if you do it every day. Consistency, drip by drip by drip, oar stroke by oar stroke. Every day, same routine, build up positive routines. You'll get there. All right, so how do we break this down? Our talk is broken down into certain subjects. So the first thing is our caffeine. Now, normally I say coffee, but today I'm having tea, I think it's Irish breakfast tea with some honey. Hot, but good. Okay, next, advice from an 80-year-old. Show respect for everyone who works for a living, regardless of how trivial their job. Show respect for everyone who's working. Good advice. Show advice for everyone who works for a living, regardless of how trivial their job. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I'm so happy and grateful. So now our attitude of gratitude. Write in your book. Pen, book. Write in your book. I'm so happy and grateful now that blank. And then think about it, ask yourself the question, what am I so happy and grateful for? Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Todd. What am I so happy and grateful for? Then let your brain answer the question. That I'm going to the jail in Tonopah. I'm happy that Randy really did a lot last week. The time he was here, really put a lot of energy into it. It's a big commitment to come out on a Tuesday, go home on a Friday, leave your family and friends and your normal routine behind to help people, to go out to the margins, because that's the only way they'll get erased. And what do we find at the margins? Stiff-necked people. But we don't go to change the people. We go to the margins to change ourselves. Okay, next on our hit parade. Today is day 6, week 3 in our neuroscience oriented course. To use our metaphor, this is the how do we get people on our boat? And so this is the 6th day of that lesson of how do we get people on our boat. We started with join a tribe, nudge it forward. And we learned how to nudge, Seth Godin's 4-step formula of how to nudge. Then we learned that it comes down to telling a compelling story. Well, with that 4-step formula is find something to change, tell a compelling story, connect the believers and ignore the non-believers, and then lead them. On Wednesday, we learned from Simon Sinek, how do you tell a compelling story? And that is the story is about why we need to change the status quo. It's not about what we're going to change or how we're going to change it. That comes later under the leadership part. When you say, who's coming with me? People say, I will go with you, which, by the way, is the TED Talk video today, the Jerry Maguire scene, who's coming with me? And Dorothy says, I will go with you. So the what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, that comes after in the leadership stage. People say, I will go with you. And then they'll say, now what? That's when the how and what come in. But in the beginning, it's why we need to change the status quo. Okay, great. So next, moving right along, Seth's blog today is another good one, which, basically they always are. The simple word replacement for connection. Okay, here's a word, you're not connecting with people. Here's a simple word replacement you can use to better connect with people. What do you say when a customer or colleague says, thank you? For a long time, it was, you're welcome. This indicates that you put in some effort and you're willing to do it again on request. Recently, no problem has become more common. This implies that the effort could have been a huge hassle, but this time it was okay. For people who are choosing to do the work of hospitality and connection, though, the most accurate answer might be, wait for it, might be my pleasure. After all, you had a choice and you chose to do this work precisely so that it could have an impact on someone else. The story we tell ourselves about the work can be fuel for finding ways to do it better. Okay? The story we tell ourselves about the work can be fuel. So you don't want to say, oh, this job sucks, because that's fuel to do what? A bad job. If it's not a pleasure and you're doing things like this all day, it might be a good time to find something else to do. Horst Schulze promoted this idea at the Ritz-Carlton, but it works just about everywhere. So when somebody says thank you, say, my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. You can do all of those different variations. Okay, next. Our fable. Here's a good one. The Lion and the Ass. One day, as the lion walked proudly down a forest aisle, and the animals respectfully made way for him, an ass brayed a scornful remark as he passed. The lion felt a flash of anger, but when he turned his head and saw who had spoken, he walked quietly on. He would not honor the fool with even so much as a stroke of his claws. So the moral of the story, do not resent the remarks of a fool, ignore him. Good advice from Aesop. I say to you, let's deconstruct it. The ass showed no respect to the lion by braying as he did. Was he exhibiting the third law of power? Power is taken, it's not given. The lion, though angry, walked quietly on. Was he breaking the second law of power? Never give up power. Was the lion breaking the fourth law of power? Fairness only occurs between equals. What did the other animals feel? Confusion. They showed respect. The ass didn't, and the ass didn't seem to care. Was a new precedent set? Is the ass now free to do what he wants? Okay, So a lot of questions got raised by what the lion did, looking at the first 4 laws of power. No good comes from breaking the rules. So perhaps the lion felt he was implementing the first law of power. Power perceived is power achieved. I'm not going to dignify your behavior I'm not going to respond to your behavior. Maybe that's what the lion was feeling. Okay. Next. So that is one to ponder. When you're in the higher position, somebody below you sort of maybe somewhat challenges your authority. Do you ignore it, or do you have to respond? Most of our people are down on this level, right? They're not here. They're not in a position of power. They're here. Maybe they're here. Maybe they're the ass. And whatever is said, they have to respond. They can't. Our people just can't not respond. They have to respond. Not good. Okay, prayer of the day, making a difference. Grant, gentle Father, that your Spirit may give us the will and the courage to act to make a difference in order to make real your kingdom among us, so that we all live together. Should be so that may we all live together, or we may all live together. Okay, take 2. Grant, gentle Father, that your Spirit may give us the will and the courage to act to make a difference in order to make real your kingdom among us, so that we may all live together in peace, truth, justice, and love, sharing the resources of the earth. Because no justice, no kinship, no peace, no kinship, no justice, no kinship, no equality. All righty then, where are we in terms of time? We are at 12:17, time to wrap it up. Good morning, Charlene. Kinship. Charlene says kinship. Okay, second to last morsel. Second to last morsel. Yes, from Diana. Yesterday, act such that yesterday was the only easy day. How do we get from someday Isle to Successlandia? One simple way is to act such that yesterday was the only easy day. Just get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more comfortable being uncomfortable. Embrace the suck, be more samurai, karate chop chop. Which means to do things as perfectly as possible given the time and resources you have. And with that, the last morsel of the day from Charlene. If you're still here, God is not through with you yet. You still have things to do. We are saved by grace and grace alone. We cannot earn it. It's just by God's grace we're saved. We're not talking about that. We're not implying that that is different. This is, if we're here, there is a plan. We're part of the plan. Ask for the wisdom to know it and the courage to do it. And with that, and cut. And Todd says, cut.